Coach, I know you've talked to us several times about the fact of you want to continue to build the program. There's certain steps that program building still to happen, but now you're sitting a game away from the semifinals. What does that mean about where the program is now?
Well, I think what it does, you ultimately want your program to be what we call, coach fed but player led, right? So it's a lot easier for young players and players in the program to learn from their teammates and believe in what their teammates say, right? So you come to the College World Series, you win a game, you hang around a while. We'll see how long this thing lasts. But next year, I don't have to talk about what Omaha's like. The players can talk about it amongst themselves, right? And like an example is, for us to win this thing, we're going to have to use a lot of guys that haven't pitched much lately. And the one thing that we've been telling them is, hey, the time you're most likely to pitch is going to be deep into a tournament, whether it be the SEC tournament, a regional, or the College World Series. A super regional, you don't get deep into your pitching staff. But the College World Series, especially in the losers bracket, means that for us to get through this thing, Xavier Lovett, Walker Zander, Alex Maggers, obviously Tucker's already pitched. These guys are going to have to pitch, and they're going to have to pitch a lot. So those are the kind of things that a lot of times players don't believe from a coach. They have to experience it for themselves. And so from moving forward, you'll have a guy like Prager, Cortez, Rudis, for the next 2 or 3 years, those guys have Omaha experience that they can bring to the team that the coach doesn't have to talk about.
Kind of maybe along those lines, I know the message, I'm sure, is just the same going into each of these games, but how much easier do you think it is for the players to kind of settle in and, coming off every game you'll have for a little while, you'll be coming off a win, as opposed to that first game where, you're facing elimination?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think that's huge. I think, we're coming off a win with some confidence. Notre Dame will be coming off a loss. And I think this off day helps a lot. It used to be there were more off days, but now this thing's super condensed. So, our guys knew that they were embarrassed. I was embarrassed by the way we played, especially in the first 4 innings of the Oklahoma game. And they know that if we play good, clean baseball, that we can play with anybody. We can also lose to anybody. So that's what it's about this time of year. I mean, where did Oklahoma finish in the Big 12? 4th, maybe? 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there. So everybody here is good, hot, and talented. So it comes down to just playing clean baseball.
You had mentioned you want Boy Scouts away from the field, and then I can't remember.
The Bounty Hunter.
Warriors or something.
Bounty Hunter.
There you go, Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, Boy Scout versus the Bounty Hunter, yeah.
Not always easy to pull off in this situation, right? I mean, but how do you manage that to be able to do that with players?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way they're raised, There are some guys that have that in them. They're a bounty hunter all the time, and we have to coach the Boy Scout into them, make sure they make the right decisions away from the field, right, or in the classroom or out at night. And then you have guys that make all the right decisions away from the field. And come on, man, we need a little more bounty hunter in you between the lines. When my first year as a head coach at UNLV, my athletic director was John Robinson, the College Football Hall of Fame coach. Most of y'all don't know who that is, but he came in, and I had rules for rules. And he came into my office one day and he said, "Hey, those are nice. You have all those rules. You better sprinkle in some beer drinkers with all those milk drinkers you got." And I think there's something to that. You got to have an edge on a baseball field, and the best players have that. And we have a couple guys that need to develop that.
He gave you some good lines over the years, didn't he?
He did. I mean, I've learned from everybody that I've ever worked with or for. Whether it be John Robinson, Charlie Spoonhour, Gary Patterson. Obviously, that's why I like to go hang around coaches. Coach Fisher, Buzz Williams, those guys. I learn a lot from them.
Jim, y'all have had a lot of success against, I guess, third day or number 3 pitchers, but it's a different kind of scenario here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different scenario here, especially with the off days. You can bring guys back. Notre Dame specifically has super deep pitching, maybe the best depth of pitching that we've seen all season in the bullpen and on the mound. So we're an older team. They're older than us. Transfers and grad transfers. So it's going to be a huge challenge.
But are you up to the point now where y'all just expect to score 8 runs or more?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, you can't ever expect that, especially the wind blowing in here. The ballpark was playing small in the first day or two, but it was blowing in hard yesterday, and I saw in the news it's a big south wind today, so that means it's blowing in, I think. But yeah, our offense has been, for the most part, pretty steady. It's just a matter of whether we can get off to a good start pitching-wise. I mean, I think that's the key in the game yesterday. And we knew going in, if I liked what we had in the bullpen better than what I knew they had in the bullpen, and I think that's why they put Tristan Stevens in the bullpen, is because they weren't, they had some either injuries or whatever, and I knew that if we could get the ball in Palish's hand and Rudis's hand with a lead, we were going to be in pretty good shape.
How close are y'all to playing what you would consider as your best baseball?
Not close, because we're the worst defensive team here, as proven by our fielding percentage, but hopefully we'll make the plays when we have to make them. But we're playing our most competitive baseball. I mean, we're here. We're in the College World Series. After today, there's going to be 6 teams left, so I think that's pretty good.
Notre Dame is a team that hasn't really been built to make a big comeback like y'all have been able to. Is this a game that's even more important to have that clean start, that good start, and get some runs on the board?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen. I'm going to spend all day here today after this watching them, the whole season. But we cannot keep giving up free outs. We just can't. Free bases. It's just miserable. It's hard to watch. You get momentum and you go out and you say, hey man, let's get 3 quick outs and get back in here, and that's how a good offense can steamroll. But we've done it at times. We just haven't done it enough, and we're going to have to if we're going to win this thing.
I know Trevor said Eduardo Perez came and talked to him after that diving play he made in the first game where he checked a second through to first and talked about how elite footwork that is. Is that definitely one of the plays that sticks out of the season of what good defense can be? Yeah,
I mean, again, going into the season, I thought this is the best defensive infield I had coached ever. When you had Kalai at short and Kaler at second and Werner fully healthy and experienced at third base. And Jack, he didn't have the greatest range, but he's really good around the base, which is the most important thing to me for a first baseman. Werner, I think he just got out. He's been out of rhythm because he hasn't played. He's just now he's in the middle of his season. He had the ball yesterday where Campbell, the rule is when the ball chops, when the ball goes up, as soon as the ball goes up, you have to start running to come get the baseball, and he went backwards on a guy who's really fast too. So that was a misplay on his part. But then he had the diving play yesterday, right, where he threw it to second base. We didn't get the double play, but he kept the ball in the infield, so that was a great play. So I think Trevor Warner's going to play in the big leagues for a long time, as long as he stays healthy. And he's just evolving as a player. He missed COVID. He had an on and off year, I guess last year playing, and then obviously this year he missed the bulk of the season. So I really think the guy's an SEC Player of the Year type player that we're going to hopefully get back next year.
Do you have an idea of what your pitching looks like tomorrow?
Not just yet. I want to watch a little bit more, but I think it'll be like an all hands on deck type thing. I think we have to balance what's going to give us the best chance to win the game and stay in the tournament with what's going to give us the best chance to play deeper into the tournament, whether it be against Oklahoma or beyond that. So there's some conversations we have to have here later today.
Are you getting the sense that your guys truly are valuing this experience? Trevor talked about going to another game, and watching it from the stands and going, man, this is really cool. Are you getting the sense that they're appreciating that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've done a really good job of balancing being, the tourist and college baseball fan with being the player when we need him to be a player.
I know you talk about seeing those guys' eyes light up. How cool is it as a coach to see all those guys signing a bunch of autographs before those games and getting to take that experience in and be a little bit of a role model? Yeah, I mean they're great at doing all that stuff, and that's part of being here. And you walk around town, and that's the beauty of Omaha. I mean, life stops. It probably is the same for you guys. I mean, I haven't returned an email that didn't involve the College World Series. I mean, you shut down the rest of your life until this thing's over, and then you have to go back, and life hits you in the face. So this is a great life experience for these guys and for all of us involved.
You knew it was a big deal anytime Aggies beat Longhorns. Has that been really amplified here in the past however many hours?
Yeah, I've got some interesting texts from some of the longtime Aggies, big donors, Chancellor Sharp, and I know how much it means to them, but it means a lot more to me to stay here longer. So I'm glad it means a lot to them. We'll try to keep it up.